late nights, 12 to 16-hour shifts, odd hours, and the pressure to just get it done and out the door. These are just a few of the many reasons why being an aircraft mechanic can absolutely suck. No matter where you go in aviation, you're going to run into places with awful and downright toxic culture. You'll work outside in 100-degree heat, sub-zero temperatures, rain or snow, and no one is going to care if you aren't comfortable, aren't staying hydrated, or aren't staying cool or warm until you pass out and the company has to use you as an example in a safety meeting. You might end up working third shift for your first few years, living your life never even seeing the sun until your seniority is high enough to bid a day shift, and then losing that bid and being stuck on third shift even longer. You'll find that you may end up somewhere that just has the mentality from the top all the way down to the bottom that the only thing that matters is turnaround time. Get that aircraft in, get the work done, and get it out, no matter if the work is done correctly, just as long as it's done on time. You may end up places where the lead mechanic, shift supervisor, or IA believe that they are God, and you must do anything and everything that they tell you to without question, even if the way they want you to do things is not what the manuals say. You may work somewhere that pays peanuts, but makes up for it with other benefits. Or you may end up in the military, signing your life away for a large chunk of time and having no control over where you live, work, or when you can even take time off. You might even end up somewhere and find out that none of the work they are doing is even legal, or stuck on a subcontract for a bigger company and hated by half the people you work alongside because you are only there as cheap outside labor so that the company can justify not paying out what you or the full-time employees are actually worth. You may get lucky and find a place you finally fit, only to have another recession hit and be laid off with no idea if you will ever be able to go back there. Or you may end up a casualty of a merger, union negotiation, or some other corporate shenanigans. You might find somewhere you thought you were going to love, only to find out that you hate it after a few months when you finally start seeing through the face that they put on to bring in the new blood. You may have decided, after hearing all of the things I've listed earlier, to avoid all of that and just work in general aviation for yourself as an independent mechanic, only to find out that sometimes the customers you work directly with can be even more difficult than toxic corporate culture. They're going to pinch pennies and try to get you to cut corners to save themselves money, or ask you to put in some aftermarket part that they found on Amazon or eBay for cheaper than what you're offering for parts cost. No matter where you go in aviation, these negative things and these absolutely awful conditions may be present, and you must be prepared to deal with them. You have to put in the work and understand that someone above you may try to make your life miserable just because they believe that you need to have things as hard as they did. They justify it by saying things like, new mechanics always just want things handed to them, or that new mechanics must pay their dues to the industry. And that's true. You do need to pay your dues when you come into the industry. You need to make your mistakes, learn from things, and understand that you're the low man on the totem pole. But that doesn't mean that you can't walk away from a workplace full of toxicity just because you've been told that that's how it has to be. You as the new mechanic, or even as an old mechanic if you're here looking to get back into the industry, are valuable, and you should absolutely be compensated and treated as such. Now, this video, as much as I spent the first half of it listing off all the horrible things that this industry can throw at you, is not meant to scare you away from the career. Though I would love to know what about this career or industry does scare you. Drop a comment below and let me know. Maybe we can address it in a future video. This video was made to prepare you for the things you might expect and to tell you that as the next generation, especially the state the industry is in now, have the power to change things. You can dictate the trajectory of wages from here on out. You can change the culture of the industry. And you can do all of this while still learning from the outgoing generations. Be eager to learn. Figure out where you can make improvements to benefit yourself and future generations of mechanics, or even the old hats. Listen carefully, always follow the manual, and never ever be afraid to admit you've made a mistake. Ask a question or request help. Your bosses and your coworkers may tease you a little bit about it, but they will respect you more than anything if you show that you have integrity and a desire to do better and be better. Enter the industry with the same desire to learn that has you here on YouTube looking at videos about the industry. Pour your passion into learning and immerse yourself in aviation. I promise you that no matter how much the job can suck, no matter how miserable you may be at one place or another, you can and you will find a place where you belong and where you feel you can grow as a mechanic. I also can promise that you will be in that place you felt you can belong, and that place will also grow and change over time, just like you will grow and change over time. Don't be afraid to explore new places, learn new things, or walk away from unsafe practices. Your certificates are important just as much as the lives of the people who depend on the quality of your work to safely get them from where they are to where they want to be. Sacrificing your integrity, your certificates, or your mental health is not worth any amount of money. Do not let yourself fall into complacency and lose your passion for learning just to get that seniority pay or those extra benefits. Find your voice and use it. Stand your ground and let others know that you will not be bullied into risking the lives of others or your hard-earned certificates. You are the change that this industry is looking for and so desperately needs. Just don't let that get in the way of absorbing all the information and passion that the mechanics before you have to give. Some of them, no matter how grumpy, still absolutely love aviation, and they want to pass that love on to future mechanics. Without us, there is no aviation industry. And without an aviation industry, we all have to find something else to obsess over. It's not an easy job, or a particularly well-paying one, depending on where in the industry you go. You might have to risk a blue water shower working on a lavatory for an airliner. You might have to sacrifice sleep or time for yourself and your family. But each and every one of you watching this video are here because you love aviation and want to get paid to work on airplanes or helicopters. That's what's most important here. If this video helped you along your aviation journey, go ahead and give this video to my left a click. Thanks for coming. See you later.